Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, I'm not going to give you a what's new in Mac OS 15.3 because, well, I could actually care less about a lot of the features that Apple adds. But I do have Apple Intelligence turned on because I'm going to fart around with it and figure it out, okay? My main key focus is actually stability. And as we know with 15.2, this affected every Mac, period. Like M4s, right on down the line to the Intel Macs that can natively support macOS Sequoia. So now these Bluetooth issues were different for obvious reasons. Different people had different problems. You know, I've had reported problems from people that, yep, earbud issues or this or that. My wife had an earbud issue, same as one other guy, right? I had a keyboard and mouse issue with my particular Logitech keyboard and my particular Logitech mouse where, you know, the mouse would start to get sluggy slow and stuff like that. I'd try and type on the keyboard and it'd be like nothing but typos. I make spelling mistakes as it is, but come on, it's that bad? I'm not that bad of a speller. So anyways, I let her guinea pig first, and I was going to wait a little bit longer, but I thought, you know, well, I mean, it straightened out her earbuds with the new update, because part of that new 15.3 Sequoia update is a Bluetooth fix, even though they didn't get so specific on it on our system settings when they tell us about it and all that. I did find online where a Bluetooth fix was being applied, and so I thought, okay, well, you know what, let's let the wife guinea pig first, and it is going to be an instantaneous thing if it fixes your problem. Okay, now, so that should mean that everybody running 15.3, if you've updated to that by now and you did have some Bluetooth issues, because it's not widespread as far as every single person's going to have it that owns a Mac. Okay, what it is there's a Bluetooth issue, period, that it's going to affect the majority of Mac users, right? Not every single person. There are people that don't use Bluetooth devices, like keyboards and mice, for example. Some people are still vintage. They still prefer a wired keyboard and mouse for some reason, okay? They won't see a keyboard and mouse problem, obviously, right? People who use earbuds, okay, depending on the version of Apple earbuds, that may be where there's a version difference. I don't know, I can't tell you. I bought my wife not the top of the line, but kind of like the middle of the road at the time, I guess. And she's had them for a few years, and she loves them. She uses them all the time, and you know, she's never once had a hiccup in her life with them on her phone or her tablet or even her computer until she went to Sequoia. Once she went to Sequoia on her M1 Mini, that was it, man. She could sit in front of the thing. She could go do the dishes, because Bluetooth does have a limited range, and more range than what we have in the house. So there shouldn't be any issue, right? But we did have a Bluetooth bugaboo, and it has affected Apple Silicon machines as well as the Intel Macs that are natively supporting. Now, I can't tell you about Macs that are using a unsupported OS on them, because we like to do that too, right? Get more life. But just in general of what I told you guys to begin with. So anyways, so she did the update, and then I went up to her and I said, hey, any problems? She says, give me a minute. Like, come on, I just did this. All right, I'll check in with you later. No problem. So anyway, so I checked in with her later in the day, and yep, not one issue. Zero issues. She can walk anywhere she wants in the house. She can go do the dishes, sit in front of her computer. Because even when she goes to cook supper, she'll be listening to music, right? This way I don't bug her, and she gets to, you know, listen to her YouTube videos that she does and that sort of thing. But even during the day, if I'm a little bit louder, she'll pop the buds in her ears, and, you know, away she goes, right? She's good for the day. And not one issue. So I thought, all right, so last night I updated to Sequoia myself to 15.3. Now I went back, I was at Sonoma. I went straight in from Sonoma to 15.3, because once they released the update, I didn't have to bother doing 15.2 and then going to 15.3. It just altered itself and said, hey, you want to do this? And we did, by the way, have a Sonoma update the other day as well. So if you are staying on Sonoma because you're paranoid, there was an update for Safari as well as a system update. Okay, now what all that did, I don't know. But I did take it because this was earlier in the day. And then, later in the day, once she told me she was straight, I said, all right, well, I'll do the 15.3. And so far, I've had absolutely no Bluetooth issues with my Mac, okay? So that Bluetooth fix definitely fixed the problem. Now, I don't know what other bugaboo fixes Apple put out other than the Bluetooth. I didn't get that much specific. They did do some other things with the phone mirroring app and some other stuff, okay? So if you were having little buggy boos, they should be all gone now if you updated to 15.3. So at this point in the game, I'm going to say that if you have any Mac from an M4 all the way down the line to the Intel chip and you're a little paranoid about going back to, well, of course with the M4s you have no choice. You're on Sequoia, right? But M3s and below, your guys should all be fine now. Her earbud issue is cured. My Bluetooth keyboard and mouse issue are cured because that's all I have to worry about. Now, I do have a Jawbone set and Bluetooth headphones, but they just kind of sit there and do nothing, and I just top up the batteries once in a while because it's a rare occasion for me to use either one of those with my Mac. And if I do want headphones on my head, I've got a nice set of studio headphones that sound, way better, but sometimes I like the Bluetooth. And I do have two computers to feed too, so I gotta think about, am I on my Mac, am I on my PC, and that sort of thing. So I actually prefer my wireless headphones actually on my PC. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys. So I'm gonna say that if you're feeling a little bit less paranoid and you're on Sonoma, you should have no problems going back to Sequoia now, okay? Especially if you had problems on Sequoia, you should be fine, all right? I see no reason why not, at least as far as if you had Bluetooth issues. If you had other issues, well, I can't say anything about that because nobody mentioned anything to me, so. But yeah, Bluetooth stuff looks like it's fixed. There probably, of course, was Bluetooth issues for some people, obviously, with the M4s, So yeah, you guys might as well take the 15.3 plunge because you're stuck on Sequoia either way, so you might as well do the 15.3 update, and hopefully that solves any of your Bluetooth issues. As far as Wi-Fi goes, we still have not even figured out what's causing Wi-Fi issues with the M4 minis, because they seem to be the only one that's affected, because it's either the minis or the MacBook Pro, and I still have not yet caught a video of any problems with the M4 MacBook Pros, and I am looking forward to hopefully being able to secure one myself in the next little bit, and then that'd be a great upgrade for me, because I'm coming from an M1 Mini, right? I just don't want the M4 Mini because we don't know what's happening with Wi-Fi, and we do know that some people, I actually got a guy, so if you want a little update on that, had a guy get on my channel this morning, actually. I got the message. He's had no Wi-Fi issues whatsoever. Now, he did mention the drives, at least, that he's using. One of them was a Samsung T7, and the other one was a LaCie HDD, and he has not experienced any Wi-Fi issues on his Mac, okay, on his M4 Mini. So I don't know what to tell you there. I don't really know much about the Samsung T7 other than that every Tom, Dick, and Harry seems to love this thing, and I'm kind of like, it's an overpriced piece of garbage to me because I can build a bigger drive for the same or less money that's also going to be a lot more reliable in my books. I've learned to stay away from factory-made external SSDs, and as far as hard drives go, well, I do have a couple kicking around, but I hate the things. They're so damn slow. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh man, really? I mean, if I was trusting enough to trust HDDs, I would probably have a RAID station is what I would do. okay, with probably about 400 terabytes of space on it or something. I mean, that's the only way I could see me going to some kind of a mass backup system of any kind with an HDD. But otherwise, no, I've got no real honest use for them. They're too slow, too outdated, and but everybody has their opinions too on what they think about long-term storage, right? And so far to date, I've never had an issue with an SSD for long-term, no matter how long I've left it unplugged for, but that's just me, you know what I mean? So there's the rocket science for today on the Mac. So like I said, give her the 15.3. I was gonna wait longer, but I figured, you know what? No need for it. And even this morning, she still has no issues. So I guess I did okay by updating. And I like to stay current. That's my big thing. I like to stay with the current OS. I don't care, how many versions are still in play. I do like to stay current. The only people that should not be upgrading to Sequoia are probably the music studios and whatnot that may have done that and had problems because of certain driver things, or could be anything, right, with plugins. These are the people that should really wait for a while to make sure that companies like Yamaha and Akai and the rest of them get their crap together, because a major update usually messes us over for a while. I know I got screwed over on a USB interface once. It was a Steinberg, which is, a Yamaha product. And, it's kind of like, but it also needed drivers for the Mac. So I had said, well, I can't deal with this, and Yamaha, I called them. They're like, we have no idea when we're going to have that problem figured out. And it's like, oh, great. Thank you so much for that really expensive interface that is not working, right? And I didn't want to backdate because I needed to stay current, right? So this caused problems. So I went to the Focusrite, and none of the Focusrite USB interfaces for Mac use drivers, only for the PC side apparently. But even at that, I don't know, there maybe fix that problem and don't need them anymore, I don't know. But either way, on the Mac side for Focusrite, you do not require any kind of driver support, so it doesn't matter what OS you go to, you're still good, and you won't have at least an interface problem. But you still could end up with problems with different plugins and features of your software. So for those guys, I would say, if you've tried it and it screwed you over, go back to the last OS that was stable as per usual and stay with that for a while and see if Apple puts out the fixes, as well as the companies whose software you're dealing with. So, and then go from there. Anyway, see you in the next one.